morning, Potomac Falls. I am Mr. Murphy, a science teacher at PFHS, and this is our third video with our Panther graduates. In today's video, we'll be talking about the vaccines created to fight COVID-19. Now, getting any vaccine is a personal decision you should discuss with your family and healthcare provider. You should do research with reliable, science-based sources such as the CDC, so that when a vaccine is available to you, you can make an informed decision. Not everyone has the same reaction to vaccines. Let's hear what one of our Panther doctors had to say on this issue of people's reactions to vaccination.
So there's kind of two ways to, or two kind of groups of symptoms that I like to mention. First is like a true adverse reaction, which would be like having an allergic response or something like that, like pretty soon after you get the shot. So that would be something like getting a rash, or your lips swelling, or your throat closing up. Those are definitely concerning. Those are very rare. It's really only if you've had reactions to prior vaccinations that you should consult with a doctor, or if you have any concerns, obviously consult with the doctor. The second half is kind of what people really are worried about, is the feeling achy, the feeling tired, concerned about getting sick, those kind of symptoms. And that is actually, I always tell my patients, that's actually a good thing. So there's a concept in medicine called reactogenicity, which is basically the concept of when you are vaccinated, with something, your immune system mounts a response to that vaccine in producing antibodies, similarly to how it would if you were getting sick. But it's much less than if you actually got sick, and much faster, because we're kind of targeting that immune response. So if you get a little sniffly, if your arm hurts, if you feel really tired, even if you spike a mild fever for a day or two, that's a really good sign, because that means the vaccine is working in your body.
Well, I believe the big takeaway there is to speak with your healthcare provider. To give you further insight into this vaccine and your body's potential reactions, I asked our graduates about their personal experiences when they received their vaccine.
It was really easy. I was actually pretty excited for it. Usually, when you get the flu shot, you can feel pressure going in your arm, but I felt absolutely nothing with my first shot. I haven't gotten the second one yet, but after the first shot, my arm was really sore, but that was probably my fault because I don't think I moved it around enough after I got it.
Yeah, so I had the opportunity, thankfully, to receive my COVID vaccine. I got my first dose on January 8th, and I just received the second dose on January 29th. So it has been just about 48 hours since I received the second dose. I'm happy to report I didn't have hardly any side effects or anything like that. I did have a sore arm for about a day, my first dose, maybe even less than 24 hours. And then the second dose, again, just a sore arm and maybe a slight headache, but that was really mild and it went away if I took some Tylenol.
I received both doses of the vaccine. I got my first dose in December, my second one probably about 3 weeks ago. I got the Pfizer vaccine, and in terms of side effects for the first dose, I just had a sore arm that lasted maybe at most 2 days. Second one, I was expecting to experience more side effects, but I really only had the slightest bit of a sore arm, and that was it.
I have the first dose, and fingers crossed I'll get my second dose next week. So my experience with it was like any other vaccine, honestly. I didn't have too many side effects afterwards. I did have soreness at the injection site, but that really was only for the following day. And then the next day, minor soreness that was basically ignorable.
I was able to get both doses. It's been probably 2 weeks since my second dose now, 2 or 3 weeks. So for me, my arm was sore for a day, and 24 hours after the shot, both times, I just felt really tired and kind of achy. I took some Tylenol and took a nap, and that was fine. So I had a pretty mild reaction.
So yeah, I got the vaccine. I actually got the vaccine, I think the second day that Virginia offered the vaccine. UVA did a really good job of making sure that it got out to the high-risk individuals, which is me, because we're the airway team at the University of Virginia. So we are probably one of the most high-risk residents out there. So yeah, I got the vaccine. The first one, the second day was available in mid-December. And then I got my second dose 3 weeks ago, the first week of just January. And I would say the side effects were very mild. If you've ever gotten a flu shot, your arm is going to be sore. It was a little bit more sore than I thought it was going to be. I took some Advil and I felt fine. After the second one, my arm was sore again, but I was also very fatigued for about 24 to 48 hours. All of those are way better than getting COVID, and I would do it again if I needed to.
The first shot, really no side effects aside from a sore shoulder. That was the only thing, nothing more than you'd expect from the flu vaccine that you typically get every year. I got the second shot that I was working clinically, so I was actually working an ER shift. So at 7 a.m. went to a shift, got my shot. Really, I saw a patient, and then when I got my shot, then came back and kept seeing patients. And so I worked a full shift, a full 9-hour shift, and then went home. And a couple hours later, I started getting some of those symptoms. But then by the next morning, I had another shift I had to go to, and felt totally fine to be able to go to it.
I have now received both doses, so my vaccine has been completed. After the first dose, I experienced a little bit of soreness in my shoulder later that evening. I was expecting to wake up with a really sore arm, but the next morning I was fine, and actually I kind of forgot that it had happened. I will say that I took some Tylenol and Motrin before and after my shot, but honestly, other than another round of arm soreness, again, it was mild to minimal, and I kind of forgot about it by the next morning.
With the first shot, I had a little soreness in the arm. It wasn't too bad. It was about the same as overdoing it a little bit in the gym. That lasted for about a day, and then it went away. A month later, I got the follow-up shot, which was in the opposite arm, so they can make sure that they can see if it's more severe for you. It was a little bit more sore in that arm. That lasted one extra day. There was also a little bit of a mild headache, but I just took the Motrin and it went away the same day. It was pretty mild.
I have been vaccinated. I received my first vaccination on New Year's Eve. I thought that was a very kind of poetic start to 2021, starting anew. I then received my second vaccine 3 weeks later, I guess we can say. After the first vaccine, my arm was sore, and that maybe lasted for like 24 hours, if that. After the second vaccine, I did feel it a little bit more. My symptoms set in maybe 12 to 16 hours after I got the vaccine, and my arm a little sore, but it was more or less I just felt like I was getting sick, if anybody can relate to that. I had that kind of, my body aches, I've got a little bit of a headache, maybe feel like I'm a little run down and like something is coming around the corner. But I went to sleep, woke up the next morning and felt totally fine, back to normal.
I guess two things I'll say is one, a lot of times people have concerns about, the ingredients of the vaccine or how the vaccine works, because it's a pretty new technology, but it is very safe. It doesn't get into your DNA and change your, cell structure or anything like that. And it is very efficient and it's very effective.
The last thing I'll say about the vaccine, I don't think anybody can sort of force you to get the shot. It's your personal decision. I can only be a voice to kind of say that, all the science says that it's safe. If you think that you're at high risk because you have allergies, that's something you talk about with your personal physician, your primary doctor about, and sort of just be safe about it.
This is Mrs. Untitled, science teacher, and I got vaccinated.
Good morning, everyone. I just want to let you know that I am Mrs. Hamby. I am in the math department, and I got vaccinated.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Himmelbrecher. I teach math at Potomac Falls, and I got vaccinated.
Hi, this is Mrs. Holmes, and I got vaccinated.
This is Mr. Lehue, social studies teacher at Potomac Falls High School, and I got vaccinated.
I'm Miss Jens, and I got vaccinated.
Hi, I'm Senora Nathan, Spanish teacher at Potomac Falls High School, and I got vaccinated. Hola, yo soy la señora Nathan, profesora de español a Potomac Falls High School, y yo recibí la vacuna.
Hello, this is Joshua C. Nation, social science teacher at Potomac Falls High School, and I was vaccinated.
Hi everyone, I'm Miss Ottenberg. I'm a social studies teacher at Potomac Falls High School, and I got vaccinated.
I'm Miss Phillips, a math teacher at Potomac Falls High School, and I got vaccinated.
Hi everyone, my name is Miss Saley, and I teach environmental science and earth science at Potomac Falls High School, and this is me getting my second vaccine for COVID-19. Bye.
Hi, I am Miss Toms. I teach at PFHS, and I got vaccinated.
Hi, this is Mrs. Whitlow, and I got vaccinated.
Hi, this is Jameson Zoller. I'm a teacher here at Potomac Falls, and I got vaccinated.
And lastly, I'm Mr. Murphy, science teacher at Potomac Falls, and I got vaccinated.